Wimpsly Snimpfler from here. Poor baby. Shall I see if you want some breakfast? I'll go get your breakfast. But you can have it under the table if you want. Hello, Fifi. Good morning, Hansan. How's it going? How we do? Let's try little breakfast. Oh. Bunnies? There's some for you. Oh. Do you want it under here? Okay, I'll give you the most and we'll see how much you get through. Good morning, Palin and Zara and Fallen and Limewood. My whole family has a cold and I'm playing maid. Oh no! Morning, Saffron. Good morning, Rob and Annie and Hetland. I'm back from the capital. Nice. Did you have a good time? Good morning, Revan. Oh, I think I've accidentally put the heating too high because it's actually boiling downstairs. And I woke up feeling slightly roasted. So, yeah, it might, I've tried turning it down. David, thank you very much for the 34 months. Did you know that Rydian is from Norway? He's not. He's from Sweden and he's over there right now. And Kirsty's over there too. I'm the only one not in Sweden. Finish pellets before Fifi notices challenge impossible. Well, Jerry's not really been eating his pellets recently. Good morning, Kate. Morning, Dunk. Good morning, Nacenta. Morning, Justin. Morning, Ginge. It was a bit rainy, but nice to see my brother and his husband playing. Oh, Gatsby. I don't know if I really remember the story of The Great Gatsby. I've definitely seen the film, but wasn't it a what's this called? Baz Luhrmann. Did Baz Luhrmann do Great Gatsby? So it might not have been particularly accurate. At least I think it was a Baz Luhrmann one. Holding down the Kirby fort all by myself, yes. To cook a bronchi, wrap in blankies and set to 30 for 12 hours. It do be like that. Rydian's got to make so many trips to Bristol to make up for this. Well, I guess technically I've met him I guess like 3 times, and all of those times he came over to Bristol. So really, you know, I owe him trips to Sweden. But but I'm scared of flying. So the other two have an advantage. Good morning, Lay. Or good night. Good morning, good night. I mean, I think sometimes Ffion coming over encourages Gerry to eat a bit more. And I only gave them little breakfast today. So maybe you can, if you want a bit more, you can have a bit more. Good morning, Rob. You can take a boat. Do they still do a ferry to Sweden? I was planning on doing the train because that seemed like the logical way. Rob, thank you very much for the 70 months. And a tier 2, officially time to retire. Oh no, is that it now? No more Robin Bronchi streams. He's retired. Oh, I got 2 little flops. 2 little flopsy buns. They did one to Norway. That's nearly Sweden. Well, I've been to Norway by boat. And I've been to Denmark by ferry, and I've been to Norway by cruise ship. I think there might be a ferry to Gothenburg, but probably easier to take the train. would it be from Newcastle? Newcastle seems to be the place that a lot of places leave from. Kaino, good morning. Thank you very much for the 43 months. Thank you. I hope you're having a very lovely day so far. And it continues to be lovely. I mean, I wouldn't mind, I don't think I'd mind a ferry, but I don't get, I do get seasick, but not as much as I hate planes, if that makes sense. The ferry from the UK is no more. Well, there you go. It's meant to snow there today. Kaino, do you have any plans for today? Do you have any plans for what you're going to get up to? I went to Norway from Newcastle, but that was so long ago Gerry hadn't even reached his first 2. Ah. Yeah, I assume the time that I got the ferry to Denmark, I assume that was from Newcastle, but I've no memory of it. I had work and then my grandparents came over for dinner for my birthday. Ah, nice. That sounds very lovely. Well, apart from the work bit. I was going to say I'll give you a Gerry hat, but I realised that Gerry is... Well, he's having a bit of a toffee dig at the moment. So maybe it will be a Fifi hat. My new favourite pastime is looking at a webcam in northern Finland. Look at the snowy lake in my friend's house. Ah! Good morning, Monday. Which bit of flying don't you like? Oh my gosh. Sort of like from getting to the airport to landing. Oh, you got some Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy cards. Nice. Nice. I was meant to go to a Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering thing, but it was when I got my Dizzy thing. So I never really... I'm so worried Jerry's going to roll over. I never got to get any. What about the anxiety before going to the airport? Oh, yeah, there is that. Like, literally, the first time I flew... I've only flown, like, twice, but return trips, so sort of 4 times, but 2 journeys, if that makes sense. But the first time, it was only an hour flight. It was over to Ireland, and I was up. I couldn't sleep the night before because I was genuinely considering, should I record messages for all of my loved ones under the, just in case the plane goes down. Should I record messages? And I was like phoning people, just saying like, you might never see me again because I'm getting on a plane. And they were all like, planes are really safe. And I was like, no, let me finish. This is it for me. So, yeah, it's quite a sustained panic. Good morning, Squids. Morning, Turkey. I did see Final Destination at quite a formative age, yes. That might have influenced it. But I think it's also just the fact that I think a lot of people I know who are fine with flying flew when they were children, whereas I didn't fly until I was like 21, 22. And I remember when I was 16 saying to someone that I was scared of flying, and their response was, oh, don't worry, you'd be dead before you hit the ground. So I was like, that didn't help me at all. Strangely, those were not words of comfort. So I think it's just been, I'm also just a very anxious person. My first flight was when I was 16, but it was like an 8-hour flight to Malaysia. Talk about trial by fire. Well, the first time my mum flew, she would have been about 25, and she flew to Australia. So she was just like, well, if I hate this, it's not much I can do about it, and I've got to do it again in a month's time. Uh, I also flew for the first time at age 20, but all I remember is sleeping and being in Bahrain for like 5 hours. Oh, go big or go home. Maybe that's why my mum wanted to stay in Australia. Maybe she hated it. But my mum loved flying. So, she always said, I mean, I can't remember if she's flown since then, but she always said, like, when I was flying for the first time, she was like, oh, you'll love it. Like, the takeoff is really good. Like, it's a really nice feeling taking off, and then as soon as you're up there, you relax. And I was like, hold my pint. I managed to maintain anxiety for the entire flight. Morning, Derek. I gotta go cook for the family. Ah, bye-bye, Hanson. I hope they all feel better soon. The crusty bunny on the clock tower was hilarious. I was worried about that one because I know some people hate giggling, and I knew there was a lot of giggling, and some of the comments have been very much actually, I guess I don't want to do a spoilie on the video, but I saw two comments. One was about me knowing, well, I guess it's not spoilies for me to know that I was evil. But one was about me knowing I was evil, and one was about me not knowing I was evil, and I was like, what video are you all watching? Like, it's like, they just go, why didn't you do this thing with this knowledge you had? And I'm like, because I didn't know. And they're like, oh, how did you manage to do that without this knowledge? And I'm like, because I did know. I did. It's just, we told you about reading the comments. My favourite comment that I saw the other day was someone who's obviously one of these, Yogscast isn't the same when it's not just Lewis and Simon. Who are all these new people? And it was on the Minecraft games video. Someone said, like, nice to see Lewis, Duncan and Harry playing with randos. And I was like, Ravs has literally been in the network since 2012. So I like to think that person refuses to acknowledge anything that happened since 2012 because they're set in 2011. I'm like, has anyone told this person about COVID? Because they have no knowledge of the last however many years. Oh, people are very strange. Hello, Gerry boy. I know I moved and you thought you were getting food. I'm sorry. It's crazy how stuck in the... See, it's one of those things that I'm like, maybe they won't know me. I've only really started being in recordings in the last couple of years, but to not know someone like Ravs, or like sometimes people don't know, they act like they don't know who Xylus is, and I'm like, really? It's like, who are all these new people? It's I saw one on that video. Oh yeah, someone was like, Simon's not in it, so what's the point of watching? I was like, oh, okay. But my favorite thing is, like, the logic of it, the logic of commenting and interacting with the video is what YouTube, I mean, as far as I know, the algorithm works in saying, like, oh, you've interacted with this, so therefore you like it and I'll suggest more. And I'm like, why don't you just not say anything then? I don't understand. It's I do just find YouTube comments to be a weird space. Like, especially with Blood on the Clock Tower, I think people don't realise that everything that they see on the screen isn't the knowledge that everyone has. They're literally like, why don't you just look at the intros and see everyone say who they are and then vote for the demon? You're like, You have the power of editing and all of the perspectives. We don't have that. We only have what little information we find out. But I think that is what they call, like, you know, the that is the pain of knowledge. Is like knowing. It's more frustrating. It's why I find it interesting when you watch things like The Mole over things like The Traitors, because when you do know, it can be quite frustrating, which I think was proved by. I think, you know, the difference between actually being there and watching an edited version was very much highlighted in Celebrity Traitors this year. When everyone's like, how do you not know? It's like, well, when you're there, you don't know. But yeah, morning, Drew. Just to reply to what Coco said a little while ago, my mum is still with us. I think I used the past tense in a weird way, but no, she's still with us. Thank goodness. She's just hasn't flown since then. Just hasn't flown since. Well, actually, I think she maybe got one flight to somewhere at some point, but I just can't remember. Good morning, Link. Morning, Dave. I think it would be interesting if because did RT once put out just his perspective of a Blood in the Clock Tower recording? So you could only see like what RT found out. But yeah, I think it would be more fun to sort of play along sometimes. Have a special version of it. But yeah, YouTube comments are just, you know, they're a whole other beast. And it's one of those things that you're always going to get, like, you know, for every 10 comments you get of people being like, oh, I'm so glad you're in this. This is great. You get one person who's like, meh. And you're just like, whatever. Blood in the Clock Tower is very different from a player versus storyteller perspective. Yeah, I story told for the first time a couple months ago. And it is so funny watching it from a storyteller perspective, because you suddenly know, like, all of the, like, oh, what was it that had happened? There were, like, two people. One of them was, I can't remember the role, but there was someone who finds out one of two people is the demon or something, or one of two people is the minion. I can't remember which. And I had told her two people, and then there was a time when I walked into a room, because we were doing like it physically, and it was her talking to two people who were the two people she had been told one of them was the minion, and they were both just there like, so what was your information, what did you find out? And knowing it from the perspective of knowing just made it so funny. Apologies if the Kirsty and Briny are the same person are getting it. No, I don't mind at all. I mean, it gets to the point where, like, I mean, you saw the other day on Planet Crafter, Sophie recorded my voice and Kirsty was like, wait, is that me? Like, people just don't, they can't tell us apart. And it does amuse me. So I don't mind. Can't speak for Kirsty. Is this the one we played? No, this was in Center Parks. I story told a game in Center Parks when we were on holiday. But yes. If you're doing a voice, sometimes they mix you up, but your normal voices are very distinct. Oh. Bliss. I mean, so far I've never mixed us up, but Kirsty has mixed us up before. What was the other time she mixed us up? Oh yeah, there was a time that I said something in a recording and Kirsty said, like, did someone just play a clip of me? And I was like, no, that was me talking. I'm here too. Steve, thank you very much for the 59 months. Wow, almost the angle in isosceles triangle. Wait, oh, next month will be 60 months. I first subbed in Jingle Jam 2020 after you destroyed Doutos in the rapping game. Ah. Yeah, you mix up Ffion and Kirsty and they're not even the same species. I just get similar vibes from Fifi and Kirsty. I don't know why. Like, my brain goes to say the same names for them both. I don't know why. I don't know why. They're both known criminals. This is true. I'm gonna do something awkward. I'm gonna put Coco here a second. I won't be able to see chat, but you'll be able to see Gerry. He has something in his floof and it's really annoying me, so I just want to get it out quickly. And it's easier with two hands. Oh, Gerry, I'm sorry. There we go. What a good baby boy. What a good baby boy. I'm just going to go wash my hands quickly because I was playing with his bum. Can you still see him or should I move him further around the side? Wait. There you go. Gerry, be good baby. I'll be back in a bit. Oh, hello. Hello, Fifi. There we go. Smaller crimes were committed. I was like, yeah, I didn't think I could see the phone when I left, but when I came back, I was like, there it is. There's that phone. Hello. Why does your side feel so weird? What have you been lying in? What have you done? Oh, curious. We're me on Buns stream. See me fully pajamaed. What was I going to say? I've tied my hair up for the first time since getting it cut today. Well, actually, I tied it up last night because I was stressed. But I tied it up last night for the first time. And it feels so funny. Because obviously I'm used to having like a really long ponytail. And my hair doesn't fit in a ponytail anymore. You can either have the top half or the bottom half in a ponytail. You can't have both. And so it just means that the bottom bits are all just hanging out. And the actual ponytail itself feels so short. But yeah. But yes. Dear oh dear. I keep meaning to say it looks so lovely on you. I've been worried that that all the Yogscast art people community are annoyed at me because you've all been working so hard on the colouring book and then I've gone and changed my hair. And then I keep seeing people posting work in progress pictures and I'm like, uh-oh. I'm not long hair anymore. But I still like seeing pictures of me with long hair. So I think they can still stay. And because I had long hair at the time of recording of the things they're referring to, so. But yes. Gerry! Gerry, will you stop eating the chair, please? Can I give you a little bit of... Gerry! What's this? Do you want a little bit of fennel instead of eating the chair? Fifi, there is some for you. You don't have to take food out of Gerry's mouth. What is this? What have you lain in? Have you got into something? Hang on, I'm just going to smell Fifi. I genuinely don't know. You've got something all down here, and I don't know what it is. I mean, I leant in to smell her, and she just smelled of fennel, so it didn't really it didn't really help me at all. What do buns smell like? They usually just sort of smell of like hay and warmth. It's a very comforting smell. But I can't really describe it. Do you usually keep your hair in a ponytail when you sleep? I usually put mine in a loose braid. No, I just sleep with it down, to be honest. Occasionally, like when it was longer, I used to sometimes like Dutch braid it or just plait it. But to be honest, I usually just sleep with it down. I know a lot of people are switching to bonnet sleeping because that's meant to be nice. But I've not really found... I did look into getting a bonnet now I've got shorter hair. But obviously a lot of them are silk. So I'd have to find a non-silk one. I did find one that claimed to be vegan silk, but it wouldn't actually say what it was made of, and I was a bit like, Doesn't it get tangled in the morning if it's loose? Yeah. It can do. So I did always prefer plaiting it. I'm just lazy. But to be honest, when now it's short, there's not really enough of it to get tangled. So it's been okay. But yes. Will you play through the other planets in Planet Crafter? I don't know. I guess it depends if we're carrying on Planet Crafter next year, because we won't be doing another one for the rest of the year now. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens in January. Vegan silk fresh from Arachne, yeah. Morning, Hannah. How's it going? The bonnet does sound cottagecore. It's just meant to keep it a bit nicer and it stops it getting so frizzy. But I've also seen people say that it does the same if you have like a friend of mine didn't like wearing a bonnet, so she has a silk pillow. But again, silk, so not vegan. Oh my gosh, did everyone hear? Did everyone hear? Stop the presses. Ding dong, did everybody hear the big veggie news that happened? It's amazing. Jeff Goldblum has stopped eating meat. Hear ye, hear ye. Jeff Goldblum has managed to get sexier after 73 years or however long he's been alive. Amazing. Amazing news. Are we on silk bonneting? Because that's my nightly look. Yeah, I was saying that I would like to. Hasn't it been hard to take care of such long hair over the years? Sounds like a lot of work. Not really, because I'm awful. I was talking to a friend about this last night, who was horrified at my nightly routine, because everyone else I know is like, you've got to do, like, they're like, before I go to bed, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, And then I put this on, and then in the morning I make sure I do this. And I'm just like, oh. And they were like, you don't do any of this? You have to look after your skin because you might not need it now, but in the next 5 years, you're going to be thankful that you did. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should. Oh, Fifi, what is this? What is this position you have got yourself in? It's just a little 1 foot in the air. Well, there you go. But yeah, maybe I should start. My nightly routine is get in bed, panic, maybe sleep if I'm lucky. Yeah. But maybe I should start using some sort of, I don't know, lotions and potions. You could also just age naturally and try not to fight every wrinkle. See, this is the thing. It's like my friends are like, I basically trained my hair so I don't have to wash it very often. And then that was awkward because when I got it cut after the big cut, everyone was saying like, they were like, "Oh, does it feel weird when you're washing it now?" And I'm like, I don't know yet, because I don't have to. So I've just been leaving it. But yeah, it's just to do with letting your hair have natural oils because they're good. And instead of like using shampoo and conditioner how they come in the bottle, you just water them down by like half and you get more, and they don't strip your hair of the natural things it needs so much. And it works for me. That part of it is a lot easier now, having short hair and not having to like try and tie it all up on top of my head to have a shower so that it doesn't get washed whilst I wash. That's definitely been less of a faff. I found since styling more wavy curly, sleeping has been helpful. We call it the blueberry because it's so aggressively blue. Morning, Artemis. Has it been growing back fast? I don't think so. That's why I moisturize in the morning but not at night. Your skin needs to balance. Yeah. I should start doing something, maybe. Were you an actual user of shower caps? No, I never used a shower cap. I used to steal well, not steal because they are complimentary, but I used to take shower caps out of every hotel room I used because they make very good, they're very useful for filming. So I used to always take them, and I would just have this array of shower caps in my camera kit. So I do still have some of them somewhere probably. I moisturize after I shower, that's about it. Maybe I can do a zoom. Why are they useful for filming? You just get things that are like little monitors and stuff for if you're on location and it starts raining. Shower caps, there's usually something that could easily be covered by a shower cap. Whether it be like the monitor or just the top of the camera. Well, usually the camera you've already got a purpose-built cover for it, but they're good for little things. Look at this, Fifi. Look at this. There seems to be bamboo sleep bonnets. Ooh, that could be good. I don't really know if I'd be able to sleep with something over, like on my head, but I could try. Oh. Smushy. Little smushy. I was thinking people wore them in between shots to protect their hair. I mean, maybe, but my department was cameras. I didn't have to worry about what the actors were doing. That was hair and makeup's worries about things. I was more getting the camera to be pointing at them when they got back. Definitely took a while to learn how to sleep comfortably, but now it's just part of every night. I mean, I think maybe it would be good for me to have a nighttime routine because I have insomnia, maybe having a routine would help to, Sorry, I'm so confused because Jerry's crossing his paws and I can't for the life of me figure out why. What are you doing with your hands? Are you trying to get to your ear? Is that what you're doing? Oh, I see. Do you get up at the same time every day? No. I don't go to bed at the same time every night. So maybe a routine would help. Hi. How you doing, baby boy? You do have a nighttime routine. You go and check on all the animals and make sure they have what they need. Yeah, but that's any time between like 10 and 1 in the morning. I mean, the bunnies get their medicine at roughly the same time. But other than that, everything's a bit up in the air. Ooh. Getting up at the same time was the biggest help in terms of routine for fixing my sleep pattern. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I'm thinking like even if I get up at the same time, even if it's earlier than necessary, I could still like do more stuff with that time in the morning. Because recently I've been getting up to start work at like 8:20 or so. But then if I don't have to, I'm like, I'll stay in bed. Whereas maybe if I just carried on getting up as if I'm starting work. Sometimes reading or a chill podcast before bed can be really helpful. Oh yeah, reading before bed definitely helps. Podcasts don't help. I don't find those as good. I think because they're like so many podcasts that I want to listen to have adverts in them, and they can just be randomly like the noise levels of the adverts can be a bit squiff. So there's one I was listening to, what was it, Dead Eyes, and the podcast itself was quite easy to fall asleep to, but then all of a sudden there'd be like a mattress advert that would be twice as loud. You'd be like, oh, I'm awake. What are you doing, Fifi? What's happening? But yeah, I guess also it would be good to try and have as much of a... Why are you licking the underside of the chair? Maybe it would be good to have as much of a schedule as I can during Jingle Jam as well. I like to listen to Tom play Peglin. Oh my gosh. Doing like Tom... I was saying this the other day. PPY. Like, because I do freelance editing, and on occasion I've edited stuff for Tom. Like, he's my favorite person to edit stuff for, because I will literally, like, his voice is so lovely that I'll literally just like make a cup of tea and then press play and then just like just sit there. Occasionally have to make a cut, take out a cough or can opening or putting a picture that he's referencing or something, but it's generally just like so chill, and it just feels like watching the video through. It's very good. Very good indeed. I was listening to one of Jesse Cox's podcasts yesterday, and he was saying about some very wild dreams, so he could be a good shout for comfort zone. That sounds good. We've not had a guest in so long. I think I sort of ran out of steam with it. It's like there's 2 comfort zone videos that I've just got sat in folders ready to edit, and I've not had a chance to do anything with them because it's been so busy. And now I'm like, they're going to have to be next year things. I won't have time for the rest of this year. So, and then the worry is like, obviously when you film stuff at the time, everything's like fresh and relevant. Whereas by the time I get round to it, I'm like, I won't remember anything we did on this day, what any of this is. But yes. It's like I'm wondering, will I be able to keep up the demo playthroughs for the rest of the year? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that I think there are some Jingle Jam days where I'm just in the morning, and then I should have the afternoon off, so hopefully then I'll be able to get some things done. But at some point I need to go through the Jingle Jam schedule and actually like write down what I'm doing. You know, it'd be a good guess, said Jonathan Price. I was planning on going back to Waterstones at the same time as I'd been there, in case it was like a habit of his to go there at that time. But then I had to do Planet Crafter, so I didn't get to. But we're not doing it today, so I could just sack off streaming and go to Waterstones. I feel like that's not very responsible of me. Jingle Jam gives me anxiety. So much to watch I don't want to miss, but only so much free time in one's life. Yeah. It do be like that. I have to write down the schedule, and then at some point figure out how I'm going to fit in everything else I need to do. Gerry? Gerry, will you stop eating the chair, please? Would you like to have your food? Would that stop you from eating the chair? If I put this down here. Wait, one of you ran over it and one of you can't find it. Oh, bunnies. Should I tip it out? Hang on. Well, there we go. Hello, Mark. How's it going? Hello. I'm sorry I left you. Do you want more flannel? You can't make your mind up. What about this bit? Fifi, there's all this here. I'm sorry I abandoned you. What? There we go. Good munches, bunnies. Yeah, sorry, I ran away. I went to wash my hands because I was like, oh, what if Fifi accidentally lay down in wee and then I stroked her? You just got to be careful with these bunnies wee. There's the echiniculi bunnies. So just in case, are there any green things they aren't supposed to eat? Yes. So, I don't think bunnies can have well, I tell you what they can't have. They can't have bryony. Because that gives them diarrhea. And they can't have any plant that has grown from a bulb tends to be poisonous. The green parts of tomatoes, so they can have tomatoes themselves, but they can't have any of the plant part. Can't have chippy tea, no. I don't think they can have beetroot leaves, if I remember rightly. These bunnies in particular can't have, well, this is going against what I just said a bit ago, but I mean what I just gave them a bit ago, because they did have a tiny bit of kale in their munch today, but these bunnies don't really have dark leafy greens that are high in calcium or vitamin A, just because they're older, and as bunnies get older they are more prone to sludgy wee, so things like kale and spinach I don't give them. I mean, I don't remember the last time I gave them anything like that, apart from just today, as it so happens. Brownie pajama leg, yep, that's fine. The chair, Gerry likes to lick the wall, the skirting board, all of these things. Apparently the bunnies think are fine. But funnily enough, so yeah, they can't have bryony and they can't have foxgloves, which is where the name Ffion comes from. So can't have me or Ffion, cannot be eaten. I'm trying to think if there's anything with Gerry in the name, but I don't think there is. But yes, you gotta be careful with what you give them. Always best to check, and always dandelions are good. Bunnies love dandelions. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book, yeah. But it's always good to, I'll tell you what, it's always good to check before you feed any of your companion animals, and it's always good to ignore any AI results about what they can have, because usually they are nonsense. So make sure you actually use a trusted website and not just the first thing that comes up on Google, because that will tell you lies. Hey bunnies. And chal. There you go. I'll tell you lies very confidently, yes. Okay, whilst you are settled, let's pop this on and say, happy birthday, Kaino. I hope you're having a wonderful birthday. And I hope it continues to be wonderful and cozy. I got away with it. Got away with it because you're so snuggly. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I guess also in the same way that you shouldn't really trust pet shops for information either. Don't trust pet shops or AI. I mean, some pet shops I'm sure are good. But yeah, I still find it so baffling that Pets at Home sell things that will literally kill hamsters for hamsters. And I'm just like, why? Why would you continue to do this? It doesn't make any sense. Speaking of hamster, Marcus has got a potential home lined up, so hopefully he might be in a new home before Christmas, which would be lovely. What stuff is that? So, I mean, the one that always comes up the most is like Pets at Home will sell, you'll see little hides and stuff that are, little shaped hideaway huts that will be, it's basically like compacted sawdust that's been painted with some sort of like natural colouring. But the thing is, it's very common that hamsters will, because it's been painted with something edible, hamsters will chew it and then all of a sudden they get a mouthful of sawdust once they break through and then they suffocate. And I'm like, why would you continue to sell this when it's caused so much pain and so much, if it happens once, first of all, it should never be made in the first place. But the first time it causes an animal to die, it should then be taken off the market and not sold anymore. But yes, don't tell my boss I said so, but large pet shops are only good as the individual staff in there. Yeah, it is true. It is true. How old is Marcus? Marcus must be, I don't know. I'd guess that, because he was a bit of a weird one. Like, he came from a family that had, I don't know if it was a family, but from a house where basically they had, there was like parents and a litter that was born, and I don't know if he was a parent, or I don't know if he was one of the litter that had, like, one of the accidental litter sort of thing. So I would guess that he's between like 3 and 6 months, which is quite a vague guess when you think about how old hamsters can be. But yeah, he's somewhere. I used to have so many people bring balls to my toe, and I'd explain to them exactly why it's not safe. Yeah, I hid these at the back of the shop on a bottom shelf. I don't want to sell them, but I'm not a CEO. That's the thing. Yeah, like, people still putting hamsters in balls, and probably gerbils as well. Like, don't do it. And the fact that, shops will still sell like laser pens for cats and things like that. And I guess mirrors for parrots is the same level of frustration. It's just, I just don't. And yet, you've got the EU off worrying about what are we going to name a veggie burger, and it's like, can we concentrate on more important things? So laser pens for cats, it's basically like a frustration thing that you're constantly like training them to catch something that can never be caught because it doesn't exist. So it just causes a lot of like frustration, and yeah, they're just like they're just very bad for them. Balls are bad for hamsters because basically it's job hunting but for cats. Yes. They just have no access to, like, the hamster cannot tell you. You should exercise them in a playpen with lots of activities and constant access to water, and a place to hide. Whereas if they're in a ball, they're like, they can't decide how long they're out for. They can't get water. They can't say where they go. If they feel unsafe, they can't hide. So it's basically just like, yeah, they're just sort of stuck. And it is not good. Can hurt their feet too if they get caught in the air holes. It's like wheels that are too small are bad for their backs. Wheels that have bars are bad for their feet. It's just so much stuff that you see in I thought the balls in question were tennis balls for doggos. No, like the balls that you put hamsters inside or other small rodents. They also cause tail dropping gerbils. See, this is the thing. It's just so frustrating that these things are still readily available and seen as commonplace because people don't know. Because to be fair, like, I don't blame the people who buy them, but if you go to a shop that's meant to be a specialist shop for what you need, of course you're going to trust what they sell. So it's down to the shops to educate. But yeah. But fingers crossed, Marcus will get a new home. And then we will be down to... Because we're talking about this, would you guys like a Blue Cross virtual event secret? Ooh, yeah, go on. Is there going to be a small furries talk? Leaks his secrets. What are your secrets? Tea. Cozy little guy. Look at he. I need to tidy up under the table. I'm looking around and I'm seeing so many bits of like nibbled off blanket that are just all over the place. Need to let the new Hoover, who at the moment, or the new vacuum, who doesn't have a name at the moment, be released under here. Tea. I love the peak emote so much. Me too. I was so happy with that one. Look at you. What happened to Uncle? Uncle. Cousin was the one that he's up and like he just basically his sensors stopped working, so he would just get stuck all the time in the middle of the room. You're the first to know. I'm currently planning out a springtime online fundraiser about smalls. I think the current tag is either no start pets or what's your small story, because everyone has a tale, though we've been given bad info and not known how to care for our smallies the best. Yeah. I mean, I think like currently designing cute floral small pins. Ah, that's so cute. Well, that's good, because they do deserve, they deserve just as much love as cats and dogs get, but cats and dogs get so much more. But, oh, bye-bye, potato. It does frustrate me. Can you imagine how psychopathic someone would sound if if you said to them like, oh, you've got a dog? I had a dog when I was a child. Oh my gosh, I kept it in a cupboard and it was really aggressive. And then one day it got into the walls and just died. You'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, oh my God. But that's the sort of story that I get told all the time when people find out that I look after rabbits and rodents. People will be like, as soon as someone says, oh, I had a insert animal when I was a child, I'm like, you're just going to tell me trauma now. Like, literally. And you're not even shaping it as trauma. You're shaping it as like a hilarious anecdote. And I'm just like, please just don't. just just shut up. Or if you are going to tell it in a way that you're like, that you regret it, and tell me what you've done since to have, like, because I will say, like, I did used to have a rat. It was the 90s. I didn't know how to look after a rat properly. There was one book in the library about rats, and I did everything wrong. And I'm like, so what have I done since then? I've made sure that I always do the proper research, and I have fostered rodents in a sort of trying to repent for my mistakes in the 90s. I've tried to do everything I can to do good for education for rodents. But I've never been proud of looking after that rat. I've never felt like, this is a great story. I'm just like, no, I'm ashamed, and I regret it, and I wish I could, you know, go back and change the world for her when she was alive. But, you know, it's because smalls don't register emotions the way cats or dogs do. We don't automatically view it as a problem. Yeah. Yes. It do be stinky. Hello. Well, it is time for me to run away, as I have a lot of work to do before stream later. I'm very tempted to switch over to DaVinci because, oh my gosh, did me and Premiere Pro have a falling out yesterday. My goodness. But maybe not today. Maybe I'll give it one more day. Where's my full hour of buns? Anhu, you were late. You were late. But speaking of mods, I used to have a mod and I kept them in a cupboard, and they weren't allowed ooey, and they were very stinky. Oh, dear, oh dear. Well, are any of the lovely mods able to do a raid? Keeping mods in the cupboard is acceptable. Oh, thank goodness. A red cat because her name is very easy to spell. That's as good a reason as any. I hope you all have very lovely days, and I will be very interested to see the Blue Cross Small Furries event, and hopefully it shall continue to educate people as to how much love these little ones deserve. You know, even little Fauna, who is never going to be handleable and has got to the point where he's now so excited for food that he just runs around with his mouth open like Gerry does, and has just become a little tiny shark. You know, he still deserves all the love in the world and a safe place to live and enrichment and everything. You know, he's such a little monster now he's old. But we've probably only got like 2 more months with him, if that, so I will just make the world as good as it can be for him and his little chompers. Yeah. Well, everyone, look after yourself. Kaino, I hope you have a fabulous birthday. And I shall speak to you all soon. See some of you this afternoon. The rest of you have wonderful days. I shall see you later. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. sniffer. Bye bye. A boop.